Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. You join me here, rather excitingly, at the Kia Sportage launch. This is the new facelifted version of the Kia Sportage, and in this video I'm going to be test driving the Kia Sportage GT Line Hybrid. This is new for 2025, and yeah, I'm going to give you a walk around tour of the car, show you what it's like in the interior, and then get out on the road for a test drive. So stay tuned for this video. So up front we do have a new headlight design. It does have the kind of EV3, EV9 style to it. This is the kind of new design language for Kia. We also have a new front bumper, which I'm showing you from this angle. It's about 50mm longer than the pre-facelift, and that's all due to the design of the front bumper. Thought it was worth mentioning in case you've got a garage or something you might want to make a note. Yeah, but overall the front end is slightly tweaked to what we've seen on the pre-facelift, so you can see the visual difference out the road if this is behind you on your rear view mirror. It is worth noting that the GT Line and GT Line S hybrids get these 19-inch diamond cut wheels. If you happen to go for the petrol version that's non-hybrid, you get an 18-inch with a slightly different design. So visually you can tell this on the road, this is going to be the hybrid one because of the larger alloy wheel. I like the black plastic as well, running along the bottom of the door, kind of splitting up the design. But overall it's going to look familiar and very, yeah, if you're coming from a previous Kia Sportage, you're not going to feel too alienated. So around the rear of the car is where things are slightly different. You're going to see a new taillight design as well as bumper treatment. No visible tailpipes on the hybrid or the combustion one. You have to go really low and there's nothing extruding down but a little tailpipe there. Being a hybrid one, we do have a slightly smaller boot than the combustion one. You're looking at about 587 litres of boot space versus 591. But we do have decent little storage cubbies underneath, tie down hooks, 12-volt power outlet, and my favourite are these buttons here. So you can pull that lever, folds the seat down. We do have 40, 20, 40 seats, and as you can see, folded down, plenty of room. Remove that parcel shelf and this car is good to go for dump runs, moving house, whatever it may be. Quite a practical cargo space in this car. Now let's check out the back seats and see what it's like there. So in the back we do have quite a stylish door pull, electric window, a little bit of storage for a bottle of water. GT Line does have this suede material, big grab handle. Now to lift the seat up, we're going to have to pull this little lever here. That releases it and you're able to click it into place. Now it does have multiple stage, which is a little bit harder to do with one hand, but you can pull that again and pull that back a little bit further. I'll use my shoulder for this. As you can see, and the key engineers have gave us a little bit of plastic here so that's not going to get caught in your way when you're folding the seats down. We do have chilled seat isofix points on each of the outer seats, which is ideal. Cup holders in the middle if you happen to have two passengers. We've got a little bit of extra seat belt. We do have map pockets, a little hook there maybe hang your shirts or something like that if you're travelling. Temperature control for your vents, a little bit of storage in there. Again, same for that passenger, and they also get the USB on the back of the seats, which is a nice touch. Now the seat flooring is not too bad. I am 5'11" for reference. I have got decent enough headroom, like, especially when it's reclined like that because of the boxy shape. Knee room is great, set up for my driving position. Footroom is not too bad. It's worth noting there's a little bit of a hump, so probably you're going to have your feet spread like that if you're sharing with a passenger, or small children would be absolutely fine back here. And there's a little bit of a perch, but not too bad. As you can see, still plenty of headroom in this GT Line model. This is quite a useful little design piece because it does add a little bit of flexibility to the rear of what you can do while you're travelling or whatever it may be. You can attach things to it. Now with the doors, I want to mention, if you look here, you've got the kind of wheel arch, pull that open, and the way that it's been designed is your legs are not going to get covered in mud because it extends down past the sill. So the door's going to get dirty, but crucially your sill's not, so that means your trousers and that are not going to get dirty. I always like to mention that when I see that in the car because that's a really useful feature. It's in the same in the back and the front, so you can get out during winter and you're not going to have to worry too much about your trousers getting all dirty. Now this is a GT Line, so we do have the black seats with the white bits on the side. If you get GT Line S, this portion here is in white and you get a different trim interior if you go for the pure. So yeah, this is what the seats look like, a little bit manual and a bit of automatic for the lumbar. Got the kind of white and black theme going on. Go ahead and step inside the cabin. The first thing you're going to notice are these screens here, which I'll start the car up. They'll come to life, like so. So this new screen setup makes it look like one piece of kind of glass, especially when you're driving because you can't see the split. So you do have a nice big screen here. It's digital for the driver You can cycle through things there in the middle, touching the left hand side of the button. And then we've got the touchscreen here, which does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and that screen is 12.3 inches in diameter. We do have this little panel down here, which I quite like. So this is where you're able to do two functions. You can have it as your climate, as well as have it as your sat nav. So you can touch that and you can see all your shortcuts there for your navigation. Sorry for the sunlight coming in. You hit that button there and it turns back to the sat nav. I think that's quite a cool use of the feature, kind of getting like 2 in 1 there. Do have a little bit of storage under here for your phone, USB, heated seat, heated steering wheel, blank buttons in the GT line, but GT line S gives you the ventilated seats. Start stop, your rotary knob for your transmission, and then you've got your cameras here. This one's got the backup camera. It would not be a Cars of Glasgow video without a glove box reveal. As you can see, softly damped, not lined with fuzzy stuff, but it is pretty big, no big fuse box in the way, so you can get a lot of items in there. It is worth mentioning that we do have reach and rake adjustment on the steering wheel, so if you're tall or short, you're going to be able to get yourself comfortable in this car because of the adjustment in the seat as well as the steering wheel. We do have a little bit of storage under here, 12-volt power outlet, lined with the fuzzy stuff at the bottom. But yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of storage under here. The armrest doesn't slide forward or back or anything, but we do have some white kind of soft grey stitching on the exterior of the armrest. On the left hand side we do have your cruise control and your drive mode buttons, and then we do have this mode button here which allows you to have a shortcut here for various things on the middle screen, and then you've got a favourite button there. But overall, a nice little design to it. It's almost like 4-spoke, because these little spokes here are kind of, yeah, I'm going to call it a 4-spoke, even though the drive mode's in the middle of that one. But it's a nice kind of almost octagonal shaped steering wheel. It's quite an unusual shape, but I like the black with the white interior. It's kind of a Range Rover-esque this gives me when I see a two-tone steering wheel, like a Velar or something like that. And if you do go for a GT Line S model, you do get the heads-up display that would be up here. Over on the right-hand side, we do have your window switches as well as your mirror controls, door locks and child lock. Nice big door bin in here as well, which you can get a bottle of water. It's quite long, not lined with fuzzy stuff. But speaking of fuzzy stuff, we do have this felt material here in the door card with a little bit of vinyl where your elbow is going to be, and of course a mechanical door release, which is welcome to see. It's not an electronic push, it's just like a nice big mechanical pull. Overall, build quality feels not too bad. It's what you'd expect from a Sportage in 2025, and it feels solidly well put together. It's not too much like squeaking and rattling. Yeah, it all feels quite nice, and they've kind of done a good job to kind of make it look like full leather on top of the dash with that stitching. But overall material build quality is kind of what you'd expect for this class of car. Now, let's get it out on the road for the test drive. Alright, you join me behind the wheel of the Kia Sportage. Now we're flying along at 55 in the national speed limit road. Wind noise is not too bad. I have got it in eco mode at the moment. We've got little green dials there on my gauge cluster. Yeah, and it's not doing too bad a job out on the road. It's quite a nice, comfortable front wheel drive crossover. Now this hybrid does produce 235 brake horsepower because it's the front wheel drive variant. It's around 235 newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 is in about 7.9 seconds claimed, and Kia claim around 50.4 miles to a gallon with this car combined driving and about 128 grams per kilometre of CO2. Now the car's about 4.5 metres in length. It's about 15 millimetres longer than the outgoing model that I mentioned at the start of the video. Wheelbase, you're looking around 2.68 metres, as well as the height is about 1.65, and the width's about 1.865 in terms of dimensions on the exterior. So out in the UKB roads and A roads, it feels fine. It's a good size for the UK market, and I can see why it sells well, because it's got decent tech, it's got a good warranty, it's well sized in the UK kind of roads and things. You're not going to struggle to park this in your supermarket car park. Now this is the Kia Sportage HEV GT line 1.6T GDI, which is a name and a half. It's got the 6-speed automatic transmission, all that power going to the front wheels in this variant. Turning circle there was not too terrible. You don't really hear too much of the engine. It is quite a smooth power delivery, especially in eco mode. That's probably where I'm going to leave it with this car. I've not got the heated seats on, heated steering wheel on, because it's quite sunny today, which is a rare occurrence in almost October, like the day before last day of September today. Now you do get a 7-year 100,000 mile warranty in the UK with these cars, which is kind of a good point if anything you're worried about maybe buying it, or you're buying it used, a couple of years old, you're still going to have that peace of mind with the warranty. Build quality and all that feels not too bad, you know, just, yes, it feels like a relatively nice place to be. In this particular car, it's £36,925, which GT line is what most people are going to go for, you know. I think you're about 43,000-ish and change for the GT Line S, which gives you things like your heads-up display, the big panoramic roof, the cooled seats. That is the one I would go for, purely for the heads-up display, the cooled seats and the panoramic roof. I always think that adds a bit of airiness and lightness to the cabin, but this by no means in the GT Line is any shortcomings in that respect. But yes, if you're looking for a comfortable cruiser, something you can for your family, and it's got the practicality of the back seats in the boot, and Kia have kind of honed in and tweaked the kind of recipe of the Sportage. It's been successful for them in the previous iterations, and this facelift model, they've made it a little bit more efficient, a little bit new bit of technology, like the wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, like the screens in this car. And yeah, it's a nice place to sit and be. So I just want to say thanks very much for watching this video on the new Kia Sportage. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, and make sure to check out the Kia's website so you can order your new Sportage. As always, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Ciao.